Hi, I'm Ray Morgan. Welcome to Raising Veg. Hi, welcome back to the allotment. I'm afraid I've been a little bit lax in putting these videos together. I've been extremely busy doing a few other projects. I've been away for the last couple of weeks during this heat wave, so yeah, things have got put to the side a little bit. I did have a good friend of mine that's been watering the plots. Some good, some bad news really. The peas were cropping just before we left, and of course we've been away for 2 weeks, so most of them have now almost turning into seed, but there's still, we had a good crop off them, and there's still some there that are still producing, so but we will have a lot of seed for next year. And probably the next 2 or 3 years, but never mind, you win some, you lose some. The sweet corn was just on the flower when we left, and I had expected it to be completely gone over by the time we got back, but it's still in flower, so there's a good chance now I can show you. If you haven't watched me do the sweet corn on my other video, I can give you a quick rundown of how I do the sweet corn, and use a paintbrush and collect the pollen, but I'll come round to that in a little while. The potatoes, yes, they've gone over. I was expecting that to start digging them up when I got back, so we'll certainly start on the first row. The tomatoes and that aren't looking too bad. Most of the other stuff is looking quite good, apart from the climbing beans. For some reason, I don't know why, but they're not producing what I normally get, and I still think that this is the second time that I've used it on that particular bit of ground, so I have a feeling that there may be something with the ground itself. So at the end of the season I'm going to have to do some soil tests and try and find out what the problem is, but it just seems to be the beans. The runner beans are doing alright, it's just the climbing beans, but there you go. Pluses and losses, as you always get with allotments. So what we're going to do today, I will start off with, is the sweet corn, and I'll show you how I pollinate them, and we'll move on from there. Okay, let's go. Okay, what I'm going to show you now is very quickly, I have a ice cream tub. Okay, you can see here that the top of the plant, the flower, is in flower. If you look in there, you can see pollen collecting, and of course when you water it, or the rain comes down, if you look at the plant, the leaves are opposite each other, so the water cascades down and you get it onto the top of the tassels, or the silks as they're often called, and they're pollinated. So it's a bit of a hit and miss. You can shake the plant on a windy day, and but the way I do it is quite simply with the ice cream tub. Okay, you just very gently, not too hard, bend it over, gently rub as much as the pollen, shake it into there if you can. like so. Okay, now what I'm going to try and do is show you now, even the dead flowers, you keep those because that will have the pollen mixed with it. I'm hoping if I can, if I can separate it slightly. I think you might now. Hopefully you can see the yellow pollen. It's all mixed in. Okay. So once I've gone round, I collect it all from every plant. So we have a nice tub full. And then we move on to the next stage. Okay, so let me go round and collect as much of this as I can, and I'll come back in a little while. Well, there we have a nice lot of pollen, not as much as I'd hoped, but as I say, they started to flower just before I went away, so I'm hoping there'll be enough in there. I've got not much of a choice really, but I think it'll be okay. Okay, I just want to show you something here. This is one I done just before I went away 2 weeks ago. As I say, these two here, there's that one and this one, and you can see the silks have all browned off. These two flowered quite early, so I thought I'd give them a go, and you can see how well they're starting to form. They're thickening up, so this is what I'm looking for to do with the rest. Now you can see here all the silks now are showing through there, and of course the flowers are now gone over, and this is always one of the problems with sweet corn, especially the hybrids, is that it flowers first and then the silks appear, and quite often there's not enough pollen to go round, so you end up with half formed cobs or no cobs at all. So this is the reason why I do it this particular way. And as I say, if you go onto my other video, there's more details about how I do it all. So I'm just going to give you a very quick demonstration. We have the pollen, we have the silks, so let's give it a go. Okay, so we have our pollen, and what I do is give it a good mix up with the flower heads. The flower heads are obviously the petals of whatever they are. Being much bigger is easier to handle. And then what we do is, these silks are sort of sticky, try and spread them. These obviously moved on a little bit, so I'll just separate them so I can get to the... Each silk strand is a separate kernel on the cob, so the more of these silks that you can pollinate, then the greater the amount you get on the cob. So all I'm going to do is dab that on there. We've got a... so just try and work it into the silks. I always feel that you may run out, but it's better to get a few full blown cobs than a few bits and pieces. So that's it, work it in. And you sometimes find that there's pollen tucked in these leaves, so go out with the brush, just dab them in, and that's it. And hopefully we'll have a full-blown cob. The end of the season, we'll come back to these and see what's happened. Okay, that's it. So now I've got to get on and do the rest of them. Well, that's it. All the sweet corn has been pollinated as best I can. So it's just a matter of wait and see now, really. There may still be some flowers. I may go round again in a couple of days. But it's the way it is, and we'll see at the end of the season. All I've got to do now is keep the mice and the rooks off. Anyway, moving on. Here's the peas. These always do well. I mean, there are some still cropping, as you can see here. So I'll still get some more off. But the heat, I think, has had its effect. It's a shame I wasn't here, but we have got, I took about 3.5 kilos off yesterday. There's still more here, but there will be a lot of peas for seed. I will probably bag them up and give them away to others on the allotment if they want them. So anyway, I'm not displeased. I know that they always do produce every year, so it's just bad timing, really, and that's the way it happens. So anyway, potatoes. Yeah. Right, as you can see, this lot is ready. So I'm going to dig this lot up, and as I always do, these will go into storage for the winter. So I'm quite happy to dig them up now. This row here, which is the Maris Piper, this one I'm digging up today is Estima, and I'm hoping to have some large ones for jacket potatoes. And this row I will leave in probably another week. We'll see how we go, because I've got other things to do, but I can leave them in for at least another week, even 2 weeks, before I dig these up. And they're the good old Maris Piper. So anyway, right, let's get on and see what we've got underneath the ground. Okay, it's quite a warm day today. For once, there's no raging gales and strong winds. When I normally do these videos, that's usually what happens. So let's get stuck in anyway. What I'll do is dig them up, and I lay them on some plastic bags here to dry out. I might also do some weeding on the way. A little bit of slug damage. That one. Not too bad. That's a nice one. Yeah, they'll do. Had hoped to be a little bit bigger, but whether the hot weather has sort of held them back a little bit, could be. But they're certainly that's big enough. I'm also hoping that this heat wave we've had has actually stopped a lot of the slugs. The ground being so dry. Yeah, the ground is, yeah, it's pretty dry, really. So, once again, as I said earlier, there's pluses and there's minuses, and it's whatever it balances out to be. Just raise the camera a bit. A couple of nice ones. Okay, I shall plod on and let's see what we've got at the end. Well, there we have it. That one row has now been dug up, and I've had a rough weigh in. It's about 34 kilos. I'm happy with that. There are some nice jacket size ones. Take a look at that. I mean, that's very nice. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that, considering the conditions that we've been under. What's pleased me more than anything, although we may be down a little bit on the crop, what's more pleasing is the fact that the weather's been so dry. I've got very little slug damage. So, as I said at the beginning, swings and roundabouts, pluses, minuses. I'm happy with that. Last year I lost so much to slugs and wireworm that I'm quite satisfied with what I've got out of this lot. We'll have to wait and see what the other row brings. Now, what I shall do next is these will go home. I will spread these out on my bench in the shed and leave them there for, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 days. Let the skins harden, dry out and harden, and they will go into Hessian sacks, and they'll be stored under the shelves in the cold and dark as best I can through the winter, and yeah, that's our winter supply. So that's it for now, and hopefully it's getting on a bit now. Tomorrow I want to get on and tidy up the tomatoes and other bits and pieces, but I think I'll call it a day for this one, and I'll catch you next time. Bye for now. Okay, here we are, another day and another job to do. I need to tie up and tidy up the tomatoes. They're looking quite good, coming along nicely. Yep, let's have a look at the other veg. Basically today's job is just tidy up, do some weeding. I need to thin out the Swedes, the beetroot and the carrots. I think I've given up on the parsnips. They've it's a shame we can't eat weeds. Nobody would ever starve. So okay, that's the job to do today, so I'm going to get on with it. Now now, since I've been away, the tomatoes have produced quite a lot of growth. Some of this I've got to take out, and also to straighten up the plants. Now, hopefully you can see here, this is a side shoot. Here's the main stem coming up here, where the next truss is. So this bit here, which is between the trunk and one of the leaves, comes out. So I'll cut that off there, like so. And again here, you can see, hopefully you can see, there's a side leaf, there's the main stem coming up here. So this grows between the main stem and the leaf, so take those out like that, and I would go down the whole plant, taking out these side shoots. I do know some people actually take these side shoots off, put them in some wet compost and keep them, and they will produce another tomato plant. I don't bother. I think I've got enough going as it is. So what I need to do now is tidy up what I have. So I'm going to cut this cord here, hopefully. Like so. What I'll try and do very carefully, put that tomato that side of the post, like so. Now these can snap quite easily, so you need to handle them quite gently, but they are a little bit flexible. That's it, let that side, and then just retie it higher up here. I'll tuck that underneath that leaf. And around. It's only gone over because of its weight. So, like I say, I've been away over 2 weeks. It's catch-up time. Tidy up. So there we go. Put that on that side. In fact, I might even put another. I'll take this again. You can see the small one here. There's the outer leaf. This is the main stem. So the main stem always has the truss on. So we'll take that out like so. Yep, I think I'll put another little bit of string in there. I brought it with me, and that's it. Now what I'll do is I'll tie that up, go down the rest, take out any of these side shoots, tidy it up, and go through all of these doing the same thing. A couple of these here need some higher stakes, so they need to go in, and we'll take a look when the job's done. Okay, that's all the tomatoes. They've been trimmed up, tied up, and I do need to get some more stakes, but for the moment they're holding up. There is one thing I would like to show you, which does happen. Let me bring you around to this one. Occasionally you get the plant, you can see in there, where you get like a double stem, where it doesn't separate properly, and you end up then with two main stems. Now you've got two options. You can cut one of them off and just carry on as normal. This one has gone, yeah, so far forward since we've been away. I've decided to let it go onto two stems. I've got two little temporary stakes in at the moment just to support them. So what will happen now is that I will have one lot coming this way, one lot coming this way, and we'll see what develops. I should get some tomatoes on them. The rest aren't looking too bad. Trimmed them all up. Oh, missed one there. Yep, that's it, got that one. And they're just on the turn. So, with a bit of luck, I shall have some nice fresh tomatoes in the next few days. Lovely, with a salad. Now, the other thing that's interesting is that the blight. Now, all of these are what they call blight resistant varieties. Now, I think I may have mentioned it earlier. Half of them are a variety called Mountain Magic. I've grown them now for 4 years, maybe 5. This is my 5th year, I think, and they certainly do hold up against the blight. This other variety is called Crimson Crush. I've never grown them before, so it's an experiment for this year, and again they're blight resistant. So we're now coming to the end of July. That's the state I'm in. I don't know what month I'm in, let alone what year it is. Normally you start to get the blight appear in the beginning of August, end of August. August is the month when we get this hot, humid weather. It's an airborne virus, and it will be interesting to see what happens. I mean, to be honest, touch wood, I'd rather the virus not come, the blight, but yeah, nature is what it is. So we'll see how it all develops anyway. So I'm going to close this one up. What I've got to do next, as I said earlier, I've got to do some thinning and weeding, and I'm sure you don't need me to show you how to do all that. So I'm going to close this one off and get it up on YouTube, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.